Welcome to the Athlete Brand Advisor Podcast, featuring advice and interviews about athlete branding. Learn how marketing, public relations, and broadcasting can grow your brand. We also have special episodes to talk about recent news, events, and anything in the world of sports. The podcast is sponsored by Pliable, a versatile marketing, PR, and broadcasting company that identifies opportunities and creates tailored content for its clients. Now it's time to roll. Here's your host, Greg Glenn.
Thanks, and welcome to the Athlete Brand Advisor Podcast. In this episode, we're talking about health and wellness, and you got it, NIL partnerships. Today's guest is Howard Halen. He is one of Los Angeles' most sought-after personal private trainers and fitness experts. Howard Halen has, over the past 25 years, been driven by a singular passion, helping people reach their individual fitness goals, achieve optimal health, and transform their individual needs and desires into positive lifestyle choices and enduring self-commitments. He entered the fitness industry in the mid-90s, and he's come up with an amazing product, and that's why we're talking here today. He's got into the world of NIL partnerships, including with some pliable athletes. Howard, welcome to the Athlete Brand Advisor Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here with you.
You bet. And I'm excited to chat with you because you do have this long history in the health and wellness space that I think is really interesting for athletes to learn about, and then, of course, learn about the product that you've been able to develop. So let's start by going back and how you got into the health and fitness industry.
Since I was 5 years old, I always played sports, and it just progressed all the way through Division I college, and then always working out, having to be in shape, being an athlete. And then I went into the military. I was a helicopter pilot in the Army. And part of your job as being an officer is you have other duties. And one of those was being the fitness instructor in charge of making sure everybody in the unit was where they should be physically. So they put me through that schooling there. And then after I got out, it just kind of bled over into the fitness world and personal training outside post military service.
That is really cool. And so then as an athlete, obviously you played baseball, you played a variety of different sports growing up, but talk to me about your athlete career.
Yes, starting from a very young age, the primary major sports, the baseball, basketball, and football, and played a lot of golf, even played some tennis, but the three major sports are what kind of stuck with me. And then when I got into high school, I kind of had to make a decision, and I was honestly just a little bit too short for basketball, even though I really enjoyed playing the game. And so I went with baseball and football, and that was a great fit. And then as I was moving through my high school career in baseball and football, I just figured I was a little bit too small for the position I wanted to play, and a little bit too short, a little bit too slow. And back in those days, if we had then what we have now in terms of trying to get into college and working on it, I might have played at a smaller school for football, but it wasn't as easy then as it is now to get access to all these schools. So, and I really love baseball, and I just stuck with baseball all the way through, and I'm very glad I did.
Well, that's a pretty cool story because, of course, a lot of athletes then make this transition, which I talk about a lot, is, coming out of playing your sport that you love and then getting into the real world, right? As so to speak.
Exactly.
And what was that transition like for you?
It was difficult when I stopped playing. It really was difficult because I miss it. I miss it today. I watch baseball games differently than most people. And you deal with a lot of athletes yourself, and you talk about the game. Well, there's always a game within the game. And that's that strategy, things that the average person doesn't see. And that's what I really miss. And of course, the camaraderie of the team and all of that. So as I was transitioning into the real world, in the back of my head, I always wanted to be I always wanted to be a pilot, and I just try to figure out the best way. to kind of go about that. And I always had a sense of duty to do something greater than myself and to just be part of something bigger than me. And then that's why I went through the process of going through the military into the Army, and I became a helicopter pilot and going at it that way.
And then you got involved in the fitness, and you've now created a product that I think is amazing, because a lot of the athletes that I work with, they know how much I care about my physical health. I'm always looking for the next, greatest thing. What can I do to, get an advantage with my health and wellness? And, I've rolled out for a long time now, probably over 3 years, really at a pretty high level, using a lot of different products. And I always felt like the neck was a really hard thing to kind of work with, because in many cases you're rolling your shoulders or your back and you're kind of propping up your neck, you're holding it. Now you got tension in it. And then I come across your product that has just changed the game for me personally with my upper back. People know I also have had a back surgery in my past. So I'm always looking to try and get an advantage when it comes to physical muscle strength and flexibility. And your product has addressed specifically when you're rolling out. Let's first talk about the product and the HNS system and what it is and how it does help when you are rolling out your back, and what you really created it for, which has then turned into a lot more versatility.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, the HNS system, as a fitness trainer out there in the world, I've always, and as an athlete, let me go back a little bit, foam rollers and rolling out could always help you for recovery. Sore muscles, dealing with this, let me see, dealing with knots, the sore muscles, rolling. That was all great. But as I got into personal training, I really didn't have my clients foam roll, because you could only roll so much, because very few people were strong enough to hold themselves up. And then even as people who were fit could do it and hold themselves up, but your core muscles are very, very contracted. And the moment if you've gone to a masseuse, what do they tell you? They tell you to relax, 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 and breathe, so we can dig in and get to those areas that you need the greatest relief from. And so the same thing on the foam roller, it didn't work the way I thought it could work. And so I didn't have my clients on there. And like you, without the surgery, I have a horrible lower back. My lumbar is just from all the years of abuse.
Right.
So, that's just the way it goes. And I just thought, God, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way to get the advantage of the foam roller and just the benefit from it, because it has so many. But you've got to be able to relax. And then I just started thinking, and I thought for many, many years, didn't even attempt to try to create a product. And then finally with my wife, we were always just kind of talking about it. And we said, let's see what happens. Why not give it a shot? And then I started creating it, and it took me about 2 years just to come up with what it looks like today.
Wow.
Yeah, and it took me a while, and I had to do a proof of concept, and that was always interesting, because I was doing it with things, makeshift HNSs, just to see if it really was feasible, that it could really work. And I had to whittle it down again to what you see now as the HNS system, because the first unit was
I can only imagine.
It was huge. And then as I got, as we were refining it, then my center of gravity was too high and too far forward. So then I had to figure out how to lower the center of gravity and move it back so it could work out. And it did. And I don't have an engineering background at all. I like to, I'm mechanical. I like to put things together. I like to take them apart. It's enjoyable for me. And so just with a lot of time and work on it, this is where we're at today.
Yeah, no, I think it's incredible. And so people get an idea. Basically, the concept is you're supporting your neck by having this device, which is on wheels, that holds up your neck so that you are not physically holding up your neck. And as Howard said, it is very much level. It makes it easy. It does release the tension. I mean, that was the first thing I noticed, was the tension was completely gone. And that allowed, as you said, the roller to get in there deeper and actually do the stuff it's supposed to do. Because if you're tight, you can't roll that out. It's not going to work as well. And so I really feel like it does that exact thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, yes, that was the whole basis of it, is to get rid of that tension and make it more comfortable.
Yep.
So anybody can use a foam roller and get that benefit, because what we found out now is there are people who can foam roll who couldn't before, because they simply couldn't hold themselves up. Right. It was too painful. It was uncomfortable. And now, and you use it exactly like you'd use a foam roller. You lay back on it, you lay back on the roller, and then you just simply drop your head and neck onto the headrest of the HNS system. And then you just use your foam roller in any direction you want to move. There is no wrong way to use it when you're rolling out your lats, your back. And then if you want to get down into your lumbar area, you simply just scoop back a little bit more onto the headrest, so your shoulder blades are resting up there as well. And it gives you complete comfort and relaxation to get into your lumbar area and into your glutes, and you can even get into your IT bands. And here's a little note. I'm a recipient of bilateral hip replacement. And so I think my second one now it's been 11 years, and it's been 16 years since my first one. Wow. And of course, with those kind of surgeries, you have a lot of scar tissue buildup. And using the HNS system allowed me to completely break up all that scar tissue. Wow. So I have no restrictions whatsoever. I've actually run 2 trail marathons on my hips. Wow. Yeah, I can't run anymore, but that's a lower back issue. Has nothing to do with hip resistance. So
well, that's incredible. And the other thing that I think is really unique is that there are other ways to use it, not just with, your neck. And you see people, as you've got in some videos and some pictures, some diagrams, there's a lot of different ways, obviously, to roll out in different parts of your body that you can roll out. And you really designed it very well to be able to do some of that as well.
Yeah, it works great for, on the flip side, working your core muscles, the thing we're trying to relax when you're trying to roll out your back. Well, you can use it as an ab roller, and there's different degrees you can use it with depending upon where you put your hands. You can also put weight plates on it, so you can make it a little more challenging. You can also attach resistance bands to it, again, to make it more challenging. You can use it for doing single leg slides, reverse lunges, forward lunges. You can do it for hamstring curls. One of my favorite things to do it with, actually, is I like to do burpees with it, believe it or not, because what I'll be holding on to it, I'll place it on the ground, I'll do the burpee, I'll do the push-up, and then I'll hop up and I'll press it up over my head, and it's an added weight to push over my head. But you really have to dig in with those core muscles, because the moment you put it on the ground, it is on 4 wheels and it wants to move. So I use it for that as well. And that really is an effective ulterior exercise to use with it.
Yeah, it certainly has been a game changer for me. And I really appreciate what you've been able to do to also help athletes. And that leads me into the next topic, which is name, image, and likeness, and how that has played a role for your company, recognizing that you're trying to get out the word about your product. And even more specifically, you're not just trying to get the word out, you're trying to get the video or the images out, because you do have to describe and show people how this product works. And you've then now started doing name, image, and likeness partnerships with athletes, including pliable athletes. And Emma Eubank is one of those who has done this. We've also got Michael Holland III, Sadie Armstrong uses this now. And they all come back to me and they rave about it because it is so different. And talk to me about utilizing that relationship with athletes to get your product to the market.
Yeah, they abuse their bodies. I mean, I did as an athlete, you did we know what that's all like. And now to help them recover so they can perform at the level they want to, you know, it was just a natural fit to reach out to them. And the name, image, likeness has just really helped us to get the HNS out there. And it gives the athletes a great benefit so they can recover sooner, so they can push themselves harder sooner and get right back at it. So it's been just a great help to get some of those videos out there. Because if you were to come across the HNS system, let's say in the gym, you would kind of walk by it and kind of go, what is that? And yeah, I've done it in gyms, you know, where you look at a product that you've never seen before, a piece of equipment, you kind of go, who should I ask to show me what this is? And that is one of the issues that we're trying to battle to get the word out to everybody to see what it is. And once you see it in use, you kind of go, oh, that makes perfect sense. But the real catch is the moment you use it for the first time. You kind of go, it's an aha moment. It's just like, oh my gosh, I've never been able to feel a foam roller work like this ever. And once that happens, you know, it's over with. You know, it's part of your recovery routine, your workout routine from then moving forward.
Well, and athletes are also such important influencers, right? And when you think about athletes, they've got huge followings. They've got, you know, people that trust them. And if they say something works, then, you know, people are going to look at them and say, hey, if that, you know, female, male athlete is performing at that level and they're using that product, I should probably try that product.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons kind of why we reached out to these incredible athletes in order to help get the word out there with the HNS system.
Yeah, that's great. And so then as you move forward with the company, you've got a great vision and you've got also a new partnership. Talk to me about the partnership with Rolga.
Yeah, that's real exciting. That's new. That's only a couple months old. Though we've been working at it for quite some time. Rolga products, anybody familiar with foam rolling is very, very well aware of the Rolga foam roller and the advantages of it, having those channels and those grooves and the contours of their foam roller and that design. And myself, you know, I was using it just, you know, I bought one for myself because it was such a great product. And over the course of time and talking to them, getting them an HNS system, you know, they liked the concept, but they needed to test it themselves. They needed to make sure that it was something that they wanted to bring on board and promote within their company. And over the course of time, it's just been a natural match. I've always wanted to partner with a pure foam rolling company. And there are, you know, fitness equipment companies out there, but they sell everything and, you know, everything under the sun, or they specialize in strength training or this kind of training. But there's very few that are just foam rolling companies, and that's what they focus on. And Rolga is the leader in that right there. And so we've been trying to get to partner with them for a while, and now they are the official foam roller of the HNS system. And it's been a great match. I can't say enough about the company. Their team there is just amazing, so helpful with everything in trying to bring this partnership together. It's just a very, very company, great morals, great values. And it's just been an absolute pleasure working with them.
That's great to hear. And sometimes the greatest partnerships take time, right? And it sounds like this was a winning fit. And now I want to help people because the holidays are coming. And this would make a great gift for anybody really in your life who is interested in their health, their wellness. And I also would imagine this product could be used by anybody, right? I mean,
yes, absolutely. It can be used by anybody at all. So it doesn't matter what fitness level you're at, you know, from the very beginner all the way up to the professional athlete. It can be utilized for all different levels. And that's part of the beauty of the versatility of it. And yes, the holidays are coming up. And if you put a code in, if you go to genesisperformance.com, our website, and you put a code in holiday 2023, you'll get 20% off.
Perfect. Well, there you go. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Exactly. And so that, we're looking forward for a big push this holiday season.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that, again, as you continue to get the word out with these influencers, as people, as you said, experience it for themselves, I can easily see, a family member saying to another family member, hey, maybe they even come over and try it. Like, you get it right now, and then they come over for the holidays, and they look at it much like you were talking about in the gym, and they're like, what do you have over here? And then they try it. I can see selling a lot more of these things during the holidays as people get a chance to use them. So
absolutely. And what I enjoy is people sending through the website, people sending emails with questions.
Okay.
And then I have actually, said, hey, do you have a phone number? Can we just talk on the phone? It might be a little bit easier. And I just, give them a phone call and help explain and answer whatever question they may have. And that's what really gets me excited, that I can help people achieve whatever it is they're trying to achieve, fitness and health wise, that I would have never, ever been able to do, because, I'm here in Southern California. I have a very small reach, but with the HNS system, the numbers are countless of folks I can reach and help. And that's really a good motivator, for pushing this out there. The number one champion is my wife, Liz. Without her, I'm breaking up. Honestly, I had a vision, but without her motivation and her positivity and always saying, just keep going, none of this would have happened, honestly. None of this. The HNS system would have never gotten to where it is today. And to go back towards Roga, she was the main motivator, and she was the first contact when we got together with Roga. And just none of this would have been here if it wasn't for my wife, Liz. So I just wanted to thank her and tell her I love her.
Now that's incredible. And I know it takes a team, to be able to do what you do and start a business. So I completely appreciate that. And I really think that it's a great way that, families, when we have small businesses that grow, it is an important piece of the puzzle is to have those people. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I can totally appreciate that. You've been amazing, by the way. I want to say from a, customer service standpoint, partnerships with these pliable athletes, you've really delivered on everything. And there's a lot of other, brand partnerships out there, of course, as we get into this NIL space that you don't know what you're going to get on the other end. Like you will start working with a brand, you got to figure it out. But you are at the top of my list, my friend, as far as delivering on a promise, and also the product itself. Is phenomenal. So one more time, tell people where they can go to get it.
Yes, you can go to genesisperformance.com, and you can look us up at Genesis Performance HNS on Instagram. We have quite a few posts on there, and there's a link on the Instagram that'll take you right to the shop. And again, for the holidays, if you put holiday 23 in there, you'll get a 20% discount on it. And I would like to thank you, Greg, and your entire team and all of your athletes that we've been working with, because it's just been an absolute pleasure. And it's been a pleasure to meet just, really good people, and everybody that I've come in contact with Pliable marketing has just been, second to none, and just really good people. And it's just been an absolute pleasure working with everybody there.
Oh, I appreciate that. Very kind words, Howard. And we feel the same way right back at you. So, well, I am so glad we could connect to do this episode. A lot of people will enjoy hearing this. Be sure to use that promo code. Makes a great holiday gift. And happy holidays to you, Howard.
Oh, same to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. I am Greg Glynn. We're glad you could tune in. Stay pliable, my friends.
Thanks for listening to the Athlete Brand Advisor Podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes from today's episode and catch up on recent episodes at pliablemarketing.com. We also encourage you to share topics and guest ideas by emailing our production staff at pliablemarketing@gmail.com. We love hearing from our loyal listeners and athletes who want to grow their brand. So jump in and be part of the podcast, because that's how we roll.